Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, what I'm going to talk about right now is crazy right now in this reaction video. Our modern women has hit a new low. They are now saying that if you are a minority, black men in particular, if you decide to become a Republican, you're stupid. It's because you are easily misled by misinformation. Now, I'm going to let you hear it for yourself now. And I'm not trying to tell you how to vote. I'm not telling you to vote Democrat. I'm not telling you to vote for Republican, nothing. I'm just going to put the facts out, and I'm going to show you some stuff that's going to blow your mind. And I will be addressing certain things that Joe Biden has said because of what this lady's about to say to you. So let's go ahead and get to this reaction video, man. Let's get started. Boy, y'all mustard bag helpers don't cease to amaze me. Let's get it.
A lot of black men sometimes feel like they're ignored or they're put down, particularly sometimes even by black women in the media. So this is not that. But I do hear Roland's point that felt ignored. But you feel ignored and then you go over to the other side. The oppressed feel oppressed. So then you go and try to align with the oppressor. So I'm not putting black men down, but sometimes it's like, well, some of you Kevin Samuels following Tariq Nasheed quoting people, please look at the truth and see what's happening and get in line with some of the black women. Is majority, like he said, vote Democrat. But that margin of people who could be plucked away from your people and go advance policies that harm your people, I just don't understand that.
Don't worry about that. Just get in line with the black woman. Just get in line, do what we say, and vote Democrat. No, we're not going to bring anything to the table. No, we're not really going to campaign for your vote the way that everybody else does. We're not going to do that. Just vote Democrat and shut up about it. Get in line.
That is basically what that lady was saying. She hating on Kevin Samuels and other individuals, said that we are easily misled, that we are on the side with the colonizers and the oppressors. We are oppressing our own people if we decide to not vote the way that they see that we should vote. In a nutshell, if you listen carefully, if you run it back, she's basically saying that black men are ignorant, that black men are not thinking people, that black people don't know what's best for themselves or their own community. Like I say, you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. I don't really give a damn. The reason I'm making this video is because this woman had the nerve. This is the woman. This is the problem with our modern day black woman who never gets their way. When they don't get their way, they say some of the most stupidest stuff. They are so disrespectful. It's like they pouting like grown children, just tall children pouting because they're not getting their way. So if they're not getting their way, if you're not seeing eye to eye with them or following their direction because they want to be a leader in a masculine role, then you're weak and you're ignorant and you're misinformed. That makes absolutely no sense. But let us continue.
Get in line with the black women who vote Democrat 95, almost 100% of the time.
Abrams blamed her flailing poll numbers on misinformation, specifically targeting black men. Let's watch.
I do not believe it's because of a deep well of enthusiasm for my opponent. We know that black voters are often discounted, and unfortunately this year black men have been a very targeted population for misinformation.
Again, it is the black man's fault. We can't win for nothing. It's always, no matter what the situation, no matter what the circumstance is, it's always going to be the black man's fault. If the president is Trump, it's the black man's fault. If it's Biden, it's the black man's fault. If there's an earthquake, it's the black man's fault. If there's a hurricane, it's a black man's fault. If there's a car wreck, it's a black man's fault. If a woman gets unalived by someone of a different race, it's a black man's fault. If a woman don't know how to cook, it's a black man's fault. If a man wants some coochie, it's a black man's fault. If a woman bump her toe on the damn bed thing at the bottom of the bed, it's a black man's fault. Everything is the black man's fault according to this logic. And this is for educational purposes. That is retarded to me, in my most humble opinion.
Targeted population for misinformation. Not misinformation about what they want, but about why they want what they deserve. And my campaign has been the only one that has very intentionally, thoughtfully, and consistently reached out. That has been misconstrued as concern, when it indeed is just respect.
There is definitely a target toward African-American men, not just to give them misinformation, but to make them so discouraged that they won't show up to vote.
I'll start with you, Jeff. What do you think they're talking about when they specifically cite the idea that black men are susceptible to misinformation that discourages them from coming to the polls?
Well, see, but that's the entire problem, though. None of these people actually give examples of the misinformation that is supposedly discouraging black men, that is supposedly fooling us into thinking that maybe the Democratic Party isn't perfect. So to me, like that's the issue. I mean, it's really what they don't understand is that talking points like that are part of the reason why more black men are becoming disillusioned with the left and with the Democratic Party, and they're becoming more open to seeking out other options, or they'll just say a pox on both your houses and stay home. But really, this is just making excuses for why they are losing.
Tesla, it feels like misinformation as a term is becoming this sort of catch-all that doesn't really mean anything and is used very, very poorly by people who want to, I don't even know what she's trying to say here. Like, it's not hypnotism, it's not mind control. What does she think is happening to black voters to sap their enthusiasm for her candidacy? I don't get it.
They would have you believe that no black men at all have voted, and that's just simply not true. So rather than saying, I blame you, how about they say, I will do better? Blaming black voters or blaming black men is no different than blaming the person that got cheated on in the relationship. Perhaps if you just cooked more, I wouldn't have cheated.
Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
That was Mr. Joe Biden, your favorite president, who tells black folks they're going to put you back in chains. Now, what I'm going to do is show you a lot of things. Some of you don't know that he pushed the crime bill. Some of y'all don't know that one of his greatest friends growing up was a main racist. Now, some of you definitely don't know that he used to talk down on black people and say things like he didn't want his children or white children to go to school with black children because it would become a racial jungle. That he also called black people super predators, and y'all don't, and it's crazy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show up all this stuff. I'm gonna show certain things other than what I said, so you can't say I made this stuff up. I want you to listen to him talk and tell me whether or not what group of people you think he's talking about most time. Let's go to this one, because he old now. I don't want you to say he got dementia and he don't got his faculties where it need to be. I'm gonna go back to when he was younger, so you can hear what he says, when you can tell that he actually has some sense and he was sharp as a tack. Let's get it. And again, this ain't trying to make you vote any kind of way. This is just me putting the facts out. You make your own conclusion. Let's get it. Now listen to him. This is when he was a senator in 1994. Now you tell me what group of people is he talking about?
Found out that this midnight basketball and getting them together, a bunch of jive folks living in their city to do, try to see if they can be Michael Jordan. When they found out, they were keeping schools open. So gangs come off streets instead of out raping my mother, marauding me, robbing the local store. They're in a gymnasium. My daughter will be safer. My wife will be safer. My mother will be safer. And I will be safer. And I will be happy.
What group of people you think he's talking about? And in 1994, wasn't Jordan the most famous basketball? Who wanted to be like Jordan? Who normally are in the inner city? Who do you think he's talking about? Do you really think he's talking about white people? I mean, of course you got some ghetto white people. We got ghetto black people. But who do you really think he's talking about? If you just listen to that, what would you assume? So I got more for you. Y'all talk bad about Trump, right? So let's make some comparisons between the two. Let's see who says what. Let's get it.
I'm going to read you a quote, and then you have to guess if Trump or Biden said it.
Sure.
Okay. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. Who do you think said that, Trump or Biden?
Unless you have a what kind of accent?
A slight Indian accent.
Trump.
You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
The next one is, poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Which one of them said that, you think?
Trump.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean it.
Would you be surprised if I told you that both of those Biden said?
Very surprised, but prayerfully he turned a new leaf.
See, that's that bullshit I talk about, right? Now, if Trump would have said those things, she would have automatically said, oh, he's a racist, he's a terrible person, he can't change, he ain't this and that. But because she wants to be right, because she wants to believe in the president that she wants to pick, it don't matter if he said things that could be considered as racist or disrespectful, derogatory towards her own group of people, her own racial demographic. All she can say is, well, hopefully he done turned over a new leaf and, come on, man. Let's keep going.
And he's a different person today.
Did you hear the quote?
Who is the delusional one now? Now, remember, we're led astray for misinformation. The information is being put in her face, and she still is saying what she's saying. So are we still the ignorant men that you want to say that we are, lady? When I can pull up information like this, and I can put the information in your face, and you still reject the truth?
That he said more recently during an interview where he said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Quote, you ain't black.
Oh, where was that interview aired?
I believe it was The Breakfast Club. I think so.
We got more questions. You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see. Take a look at my record, man.
Do you have any thoughts about that?
It's really unfortunate if that is factual and he did say that. Very unfortunate, and I'm at a loss for words. I've never heard those type of negative comments coming from him or his administration. I didn't know that he would even ever be capable of having those views.
Why do you think maybe you haven't heard of those comments coming from him?
Well, everybody deserves a second chance, and who people may have been 20 years ago, they may not be today. 50.
Everybody deserves a second chance. Well, I'm gonna need you to tell that to that woman whose child was murdered by a serial rapist 20 years ago. He go to prison, he get out of prison, and he feel like he done changed. So you should forgive him. You should forget all that stuff. See, apply that logic to every scenario, lady. Don't apply it to a scenario that's favorable towards you and your best interest. You see what I'm saying? She still cannot believe, she is in utter disbelief that the man that she's voting for or voted for has said those things. That's the problem with a lot of you black people out there. And I say black people, I mean these women are the ones who don't take time to research the candidates. Okay, it's not just black people, but I mean like what I said. There's a lot of us in my community who go for the glitter and glam. We go for the personality, but we don't really know what those people are standing on for the community. So we just vote for them because they're black, or we vote for them because they seem to be cool. We don't really know what they are standing against. We don't know what they stand for. We have to do our research. This woman clearly does not know nothing about what this man has said. And that "you ain't black" comment that Joe Biden made a while back, she still didn't know about it. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You ain't going to know everything about a candidate. But most times they don't know what their policies are. They don't know what the policies that they're running for, or they don't know nothing. They just vote. A vote that is not educated, when you make a vote, and when you're not making an educated vote, it's the same thing as not voting at all. Do you hear what I'm saying? When you're not making an educated vote, it's the same thing as not voting at all. Because you just throwing a vote away just because you like what somebody said, but you don't know what they are really running for. They could tell you anything. Okay? So if you're not researching what these politicians are standing for and seeing what they're going to do for your community, and you're going out and voting for them, that's just the same thing as not voting. You ain't doing no good. You have to research what they believe in. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
Team, even who people were last week, they may not be today. As an educator, I just believe in giving second and even third chances. So I'm just going to assume that that's possibly why it's not in the media.
It was all in the media, sweetheart. It was all in the media. I'm just showing you. Remember now, the black man is easily misled. If you want to be Republican or anything other than Democrat, it must be because you're just you're simple-minded, and anyone can tell you anything, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nah. Now, let me show you something else. Now, this is coming all out of Joe Biden's mouth. You can't say that I'm not bringing you receipts today.
Oh, no. know, but most people don't know, unlike the African-American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
3 days later.
Biden took to Twitter Thursday night saying that he wanted to clarify the remarks that he'd made earlier in the day. He said in his tweet, "In no way did I mean to suggest the African-American community is a monolith, not by identity."
Oh, oh boy. How long before y'all realize people say what they are? And if y'all want to say he's just old, then why would you let a man be a president that's too old to be able to control what he say? People say what they feel, man. They really do. And here's another one. He's younger. I want you to hear him tell you that Haiti, people from Haiti, Haitians, he don't care if they do good or bad. If they sink or swim, it's going to come out of his mouth. Let's get it.
Haiti just quietly sunk into the Caribbean or rose up 300 feet. It wouldn't matter a whole lot in terms of our interest. The world editor of a paper in the Delaware Valley asked their reporters to come down and talk to me and said, why is Biden so concerned about Bosnia and not about Haiti? Is it because blacks are involved in Haiti? Blacks are what at stake in Haiti, and in Bosnia they are European whites. If Haiti, a god-awful thing to say, if Haiti just quietly sunk into the Caribbean or rose up 300 feet, it wouldn't matter a whole lot in terms of our interest.
In other words, he don't give a fuck what happened to him. I mean, hey, you heard him saying it. You can take it how you want. You heard what he said. He don't care if it rises up or if it sinks. I don't care. I don't care. And hell yeah, that was in 1994, by the way. I'm showing you interviews. All this is coming out of his own lips, y'all. You can't say that I'm editing shit. You can't say that I'm doing any of this stuff. This all coming out of his mouth. Now let me show you. I'm just doing this to make a point, y'all. Now I'm going to show you how he says he caters to whoever he think is going to vote for him. He gonna tell you that he was raised by black folk, if black folk there. He gonna tell you he was raised by Indian people, if Indian people there. He gonna tell you he was raised by polar bears, if polar bears could vote. He gonna tell you everything. Let's keep going. I'm gonna prove that to you too. Can't say I'm making up shit today.
I was sort of raised in the Puerto Rican community. I had a very close relationship with the Greek American community, for real. I am Joe Bidenopoulos. I grew up in a heavily Irish Catholic community in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and a heavily Italian Polish community. When I say I got raised in the black church, he knows I'm not kidding. The Persian culture.
God damn, how many people raised your motherfucking ass, dude?
The Persian culture is amazing. As a student of the Persian culture, I probably went to shul more than many of you. I come out of the black community. The background of my family is Irish American, not fundamentally unlike the Palestinian people. You might say, raised in the synagogues of my state. Everybody in town was either Polish or Italian. I grew up feeling self-conscious. My name didn't end in an SKI. I was raised in a neighborhood where I felt self-conscious. My name didn't end in O. That's kind of how I was raised, like so many Americans of Irish heritage, just like rabbis, synagogues, and Jewish community centers in your hometowns, and that's the tradition I got raised.
Oh, so everybody raised him. The whole village raised his ass. All right, so I got more to show you. It's all for your consideration. Like I say, I'm not trying to sway you to vote anything. You do whatever you want to do. But I just want to put the facts out here. Now, this is one guaranteed way that they figured out how to get black people to vote for them. How, you may say, is to buy them fried chicken. Let me go ahead and play that for you, too. Let's get it.
In desperate need to pander to blacks for votes, President Joe Biden decided he would buy a black family fried chicken, and Stephen A. Smith responds. Let's get right to the video.
So what's Biden's plan to shore up his African-American base? The Biden campaign filmed him buying fried chicken for a black family in North Carolina.
Oh man, you got chicken fingers, you got the whole deal. I want the root of making sure I had the hamburger. So tell me about you guys. What you doing these days?
I'm playing AAU basketball right now.
Are you really? Are you guard?
Yes, sir.
That is the kind of scene, that is the kind of imagery you and your team decided to provide? Really? Really? Sitting down and eat fried chicken. Come on, man. Now, on this show, I've called out Trump. and various other Republicans for some of the decisions that they made and some of the things that they've done. Do you think I'm going to let President Biden off the hook? This wasn't Kamala Harris in Raleigh. This was him. This is the same dude who was a senator in the 90s pushing the crime bill. You know that crime bill that led to mass incarceration for an inordinate amount of black folks that Bill Clinton himself and others in the Democratic Party lamented? Well, who was more of a culprit in that regard than Biden? I recognize what he's done for HBCUs. I recognize what he's done for infrastructure. I recognize what he's done for forgiveness of student loans. I recognize these things. I'm not trying to expel or expunge the good that he has done. But this imagery, I want to know who the hell came up with that idea. Because you know Trump and the GOP are going to use that to their advantage, right? And they'll be right to do so. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if we're being fair, if we saw Donald Trump sitting down in a black household, eating fried chicken with a father and a son, what would we say?
That's my point exactly. Y'all some double-minded hypocrites, man. If that would have been Trump, oh, he's a racist. All right, like I said, I'm not trying to tell you to vote for him or for Biden. It's your decision. All I'm doing is putting facts out there. And you do what the fuck you want. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But I just want to show you, it goes back to my very first clip of this at the beginning of this video, how they want you to know that black men do not take the time out to research anything. It didn't take me long to find this stuff. Now, I know if I could find this stuff, any other black man who has intelligence can do the same thing. So we're not led like sheep as the first. All this is based upon that first clip. Now, I got one more thing to show you. It's going to be kind of funny. Think you might like it. I think it was kind of funny to me. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's get it.
Hello, this is Gavin.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm here to ask you for your help.
You know what? I would love to, but I just don't have the time.
And you ain't black.
Hello? Hello?
The plan I have is for Black America. I look forward to seeing you in person.
Why would you do that?
You ain't black.
Listen,
you ain't black.
What? Oh my God.
You got more questions?
What is your deal, huh? Stop. Don't you dare hang up that fucking phone, okay?
Me or Trump?
What if I wanted to?
You ain't black.
What? You motherfucker! Oh my God, you son of a bitch!
I want a larger share of the black vote than anybody
Fuck
has.
you, man! Fuck you! Well, I hope
you ain't black.
Well, that'll be the end of this episode. Remember now, we can't think for ourselves now, right? So anyway, y'all let me know y'all think about this video. I'll be talking to y'all pretty soon. Y'all have a good one, man. Y'all be safe out there. Remember, if you don't hit the like button on this video, then you ain't black.